Hey guys, welcome back to the Cast Spirit Podcast. My name is John, and today I'm again joined by Coach. We are going to cover the surf fishing fishery here in Southern California and maybe dive a little bit into Baja and Central NorCal if we have time. Coach, welcome back to the show.
My pleasure.
So, for the new person kind of getting into surf fishing, what are some of the first fish that they might catch? And then let's work our way to the ones that if you catch it, you're going to be talked about for a long time. So, what are some of the starter fish?
Well, here in SoCal, we're talking about yellowfin croaker, maybe corvina, probably not a big one, but corvina, guitar fish, maybe bat rays, leopard sharks, calico bass are a possibility. Some areas that are more rocky. I mean, it really depends on what kind of habitat you're in.
And then are any of those, from your experience, like worth taking home for the dinner plate, or pretty much all the ones you catch in the surf, catch and release?
I mean, it depends on how you qualify it, of course. But really, all of them are worth eating as long as you, how do I say this? As long as you practice selective harvest. Figure out what's sustainable for what you're willing to take home. Take those ones home. Throw back the giant fish and the little fish. Pretty much you'll be good to go.
I know that a lot of guys back in the old days used to use light line stuff going for like opali and things like that. And I know you have a special technique when you going off the jetties. You want to go into a little bit about like jetty fishing and some of those techniques?
The jetties are different here. Up by you, it's a whole different game. The jetties here, we have sargo, we have opali, we have half moon, we have calico bass, scorpion fish, the whole gig. Up by you, those jetties are super productive. They have all those species and many more, opali and tons more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's all about what you're willing to do and what you're willing to harvest. I would say that fish like opali, half moon, sargo, black surf perch, black croakers. There's a whole host of nighttime jetty denizens that are under harvested. There's a bunch of them, and anyone that's willing to go hit their local jetty at sundown could harvest.
How often do you go surf fishing during the day versus say early morning or dusk or even at night? Like, do you have a breakdown of like 60% of the time you go during the day, or more fish more productive at night, or certain species are more productive at night?
I do not personally bother with any of it in daytime or nighttime. I do it when the sun goes down, personally.
Now, is it that time that you just know that they bite more?
Well, it's tide and everything, but I choose my conditions based on when I'm available. And I think most people do too. So let's say I get off work at 5. Well, sunset is at 7:15 or something. That gives me a couple hours to get my family fed, gives me a couple hours to get my gear organized, and gives me a couple hours to get my nonsense taken care of. Okay, well, what kind of tide am I working with? If I'm dealing with an incoming tide, I can fish spots like the Dog Beach Jetty at Ocean Beach. I can fish spots like Hospitality Point in Mission Bay. I can fish spots up north where the tide is coming in on any reefs or whatever. That same type of tide would stand me in good stead if I was fishing Dana Point or Marina Del Rey or Oxnard. Incoming tides at sundown, straight money.
Like, what are the fish that if you catch them from the surf, it's noteworthy. Like, it's once in a lifetime. You could not necessarily once in a lifetime, but it's hard to do. Is there some certain fish that are local here that are like, wow, I can't believe that person caught it from the surf?
I mean, anything from giant calicos, yellowtail, white sea bass, certain sharks. I mean, there's plenty of fish here in the surf that are rare for anyone.
So the two fish that I'd be the most curious just to get your thoughts on would be the white sea bass and yellowtail. I feel like that is like a prize thing to do from the surf. I know a buddy catches them pretty regularly if in certain spots, with like a Lucky Craft lure. We can get into lures in another episode, but do you have any tips for those two mythical creatures from the surf?
Well, focus real hard. Chum well. Focus on the dawn and dusk incoming tide. If you're not doing that, you're already done. The old school deal is chase an outgoing tide, greet an incoming tide. So greet those incoming tides and be ready. You see those birds diving? Cast on them. Use your lure of choice and cast on those birds crashing in the surf, dawn and dusk.
We have to start waking up earlier.
Or
Perfect.
going to bed later.
Yep, exactly. I think that covers a good primer of the different fish species here in Southern California. Hey, one more thing before you go. Do you like this podcast? Well, we're trying to keep it ad-free as much as possible. And to do that, we just ask if you could support us. That'd be amazing. Just head over to shop.castandspear.com or consider contributing to our Patreon page. Thanks so much in advance. See you on the next one. Bye.